Hey, Scott here with another video showing you how to do a little bit of small engine repair. Today we have a lawn tractor that will crank and crank and crank and it just won't fire. So let's go outside and take a look at it and I'll show you what I found. YTH24K48 is back in the shop. This is the third time this season. The first time was about the PTO clutch. Second time was about some safety switches and a weak battery. But today we are in the shop looking at a no start situation, and by that I mean it cranks and cranks but it doesn't fire. So let's dive in and see what's going on. Alright, so I've tried that over and over again and there's just no change. So let's dive in a little closer and see what's going on. So I suspect it's a fuel delivery issue. So one thing I'm going to do is to just kind of like turn the key. If we turn the key in the first position, the carburetor has an anti-backfire solenoid, and if that's working properly, that will open up and allow fuel to flow into the carb. So when we turn the key to the first position, we should hear that clicking. Let's give that a try. Alright, I don't know if you can hear that on video, but I definitely hear it clicking on and off as I turn the key here. So the anti-backfire solenoid appears to be working. Let's check on the other side. I'm going to take this hood off, and here is the fuel pump. We're going to find out if there's any fuel coming out of that pump. Let's disconnect the headlight wire and remove the hood. And then let's come over here on the fuel pump side. So what I usually do is to remove the tube here that goes from the fuel pump to the carburetor. And I'm going to take that off and I'm going to crank it and see if any fuel is coming out of there. So let's pinch that clamp off here. Okay, so that line is off. Now I'm going to crank the engine and see if anything comes out of this tube. Well, that's a major find right there. If there's no fuel coming out of that pump, it's obviously not getting fuel to the carburetor. So that just being one possibility. Another possibility is that the fuel line that goes back to the fuel tank, which is in this case under the seat, also might just be clogged. Fuel filter, fuel line, junk in the gas tank, whatever. So let's remove this and see what happens here. First I'm going to get something to catch some gas in here. Alright, so it looks like we actually have pretty good gas flow. I'll let a little bit of it flow into there, and we'll take a look to see if there's any water in it. Looks pretty clear though so far. The owner of this lawn tractor said that she put fresh gas in it, and it was mowing one day and then put away for the night and taken out the next day, and it just wouldn't start. So okay, looks like we've got good flow. I'm gonna go get a clamp for that. Alright, so just a couple of bolts holding this pump on. We got two 10mm bolts right there, so let's get those off. It looks like I got to replace that tube right there too. So here's the pump. All right, so I took the fuel pump off, and this little tube right here goes down into the valve cover there, and I could see that it's all worn out or chewed up or something right there. So called my local small engine repair guy, and he says he doesn't keep that in stock, but if he did get it, it'd be like 13 bucks. So guess what? That's not going to happen. This is just a tube for vacuum, and I'm going to see if I could use a piece of fuel line to replace that. Alright, so I found myself a piece of fuel line, that just some random piece I've collected over the years, and it's a little bit smaller diameter, outside diameter, than some of the other stuff I use. So I found that I could just work it into the top of the hole here of the valve cover, and it's good and snug. And then I'm gonna try to put the same fuel pump on it, because maybe there's nothing wrong with this fuel pump. Maybe it's just that vacuum pump. So pull this back out of here, and then I'm gonna cut it to about the same length as this thing. So okay, so here is the piece that I cut. And we'll take the old fuel pump, reconnect it, and see if we can get it to work properly. Alright, I'm just going to crank it now and see what happens. Yep, look at that. That's all it was this little tiny hose. You can see that it was a hole in it. I don't know if that was chewed in by an animal or just wear and tear being bent and stuff like that. So we don't have to replace the fuel pump, so that's a good sign. So let's get this all put back together and fire this thing up. That's a sound I like to hear. Now that was really cool. I'm glad that I was able to find that simple little fix, and I learned something today. I hope you learned something today, and if my channel has helped you at all, I appreciate a subscription. Go ahead and mash that subscribe button, and I will continue to add videos as time allows. All right, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.